Hi, family. Today's Just Medicate Me episode is a controversial one, and I should just let you know from the outset. I said this in one of my earlier episodes right off the bat, how I deal with haters or anything like that. I don't. If you're going to come at me and be personally attacking, I don't engage at all. That's not true. There are times now that I choose to engage. I will decide to play, and then I will go to certain social media news outlets and I will play. And I put aside time to do that. It's been an evolution to learn how to deal with this Twilight Zone insanity that we live in. And that is one of my coping mechanisms. And I've actually gotten a pretty effective tool that is not only highly amusing for myself, but many, many others who watch it happen in the comment threads. Maybe I'll share that with you. Anyway, so here's the deal. This is how stupid one. And when I say stupid, I only use that title because it is provocative. You need to do that on YouTube in order to get the clicks and the views and all that. So that's just playing the game right up front. I'll tell you that. My description is and always has been from the outset of when this insanity first began, that it is willful ignorance. That's exactly what it is. And let me divide these factions for you. I remember being in school, and throughout the years, it has happened over and over and over again, where you hear of people, we were astonished. Everyone was, how could they let that happen, right? Back when Hitler took over and was able to do what he did. We all were just, honestly, we just couldn't understand it. How could anyone ever let that happen? And for the first time in my life and in the lives of millions of others who are living this nightmare, we now get it. We get it. Tragically. There are 3 factions to the cult following that is our first elected king of the United States of America. Cruel king. I formulated this over time. It's truly driven me over the edge of insanity. I don't know how any rational, critical thinker couldn't just be driven to insanity by what's occurring, because it just doesn't compute by any logical, rational point of view. But that's the whole idea. So the first faction, the filthy rich and aspiring to be filthy rich, these are the people who money is the only thing that matters. They may pretend that it's not, but after a while, you can't pretend that long, right? So we all know someone who happens to be the richest man in the world currently, and who has created all kinds of chaos, been the center of it here. We know people who are like this, who have had lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money. But many of these people then get to a point where they start giving away their money to charities because that is the natural flow of things. We all know people like that too, right? Internationally famous people like that. And so when money is your driving factor, when that is your only currency, so that is the only guide by which you put your ship out to sea and direct your course, nothing else matters. And these people seem and are, in many respects, merciless. I mean, by any standard of anyone else, they're merciless, and it's how they get to be where they are. So that's the first faction. The second faction were also always present, right? So they were always out here, and they are the religious, I guess for lack of a better word, right. So these are the religious fanatics who are going to save us whether we like it or not. And they sincerely believe that we just don't get it. We don't understand. We are possessed by demons or led by the sins of the world or lost sheep. So put whatever label you want on it. These righteous, and I do say that tongue in cheek, righteous people are the second faction. Now, both of those factions existed always. And it wasn't until the president was able to literally brand, the third marketing scheme. I mean, grifter comes to mind, right? Remember those old movies with the guy, and he always had a top hat, black and white movies, and he'd go into towns and he'd have his wagon and he'd have all these magic potions and stuff. He was a grifter, right? That's what this man is. And he's told you that's who he is. He doesn't not tell you this. You can go on YouTube any day of the week and you can look up. He says it in his own words. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot someone, not get shot, but get shot. Don't even go there. Shoot someone and I wouldn't lose votes. That's what he said. He's told you this from the outset. And so the two factions, the filthy rich and the religious right, I wish I had a better word for that, fanatics. I mean, they're just fanatics. There's a lot of them. They all a lot of them kind of just really gathered together, because that's the other part of this, is that there's this movement, white males are under attack and are a dying breed in our country. If you listen to all these MAGA nuts, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. So the third faction is the ones who have that as one of their banners. So here's the third faction. And the third faction are the ones who are literally responsible for putting this man into office. Well, I mean, along with the people who kept their arses home and didn't vote this last time. This third faction, really, most of them never even voted. I call them the deliverance cult for a reason. Willfully ignorant, okay? And come at me if you want to, but it's the truth. I lived among these people for a really long time. There's a pattern with these people. They are not critical thinkers. They're not. They have no interest in critical thinking. As a matter of fact, intelligence they find offensive and will come at you. That's the other thing, get your chest up in there and violence. And, well, you saw it at the insurrection. We all saw what happened. Those are the people I'm talking about. He said it himself. He wished they'd looked better. It was a bad image when the way these people were dressed. And they assaulted our White House. They spread their feces on the walls. They attacked our police officers. And then they were rewarded by being pardoned. So that's the deliverance cult. These are people who have no interest in critical thinking. Many of them spout their opinions like they're facts straight out of the Encyclopedia Britannica. And he riled them up. Okay, so that's what he did. I mean, if anybody wants to know what happened, that's exactly what happened. This man screamed, literally, They're eating the cats and dogs. He screamed about all the jobs that were being lost to all the lazy Mexicans coming across the border. He made fun of disabled people. He has a WWE mentality which matches, or he used that kind of mentality which matches and mirrors the deliverance cult, who simply want to own the libs. That's all they care about. Seriously, they don't care about anything else, as is evidenced by their continued rabid loyalty. They'll go right off the cliff with this guy. And Project 2025, which said right out, again, go to YouTube. Don't know anything about it, have no idea. And they've dug their heels into Project 2025. And we, like the frogs we are just sitting in the pan as it boils. So that's how stupid won. These other two factions are not stupid. They're not like the deliverance cult faction. These other two factions are actually very intelligent, or have a central intelligence to them. And they saw quickly that he got it right. If they wanted to win, if winning is the only thing you want, it is your only goal, they needed to jump on board what he was serving up. And they did. It was only the women right after the election that were screaming. None of the men stood up for quite a while. The women did, and still are. And now the men are starting to jump on board, and even the men on the other side are maybe realizing, I hope, that their legacy is at stake. Their legacy is at stake. And figuring out how he did it, figuring out how it happened, it was like it was for me when my kid died. And I had to figure out, I mean, as far as one can anyway, right? I had to figure it out, and it took me years and years. And same thing here. I've spent countless hours. I mean, I have an advocacy site that there are a lot of women on from all over the world, and so I've gotten those perspectives and heard and read their astonishment and sorrow and sadness and anger and rage and all those movies that they put out there. You know, the good guy wins. Not so far. Not in this case. They let loose the Kraken. That's what happened. He was let loose. And once you've done that, how do you put him back in? It remains to be seen if we can, or if I and every living person with me at this time have just witnessed and lived through the death of democracy in the United States of America.